Hello there, and welcome to this week's episode of On the Record. We're your hosts, Will
and Brad.
On today's episode, we're going to teach you the proper maintenance on how to take care of a record. Most likely, you purchased a record since our last episode.
We're going to show you how to care for these brand new records of yours. But, Will, I gotta ask, why is record care so important?
Improper record care could actually reduce the quality of the sound on the record. Even worse, scratches or scuffs can actually prevent a record from being playable. So we're going to start off with the proper storage of keeping your records.
Now, it's very important to make sure your records stay in the sleeves when you're not listening to them. This is going to prevent all the dust and scratches from getting on them.
Another good thing is the playing needle on the record player itself. It's best to actually lift the needle off the record and then you can change tracks afterwards during that. Dragging the needle across the record would definitely guarantee not only damaging your record, but also damaging your needle.
It's also suggested that you don't try putting your records into a fire or using a knife on them in any circumstance.
No, we don't want that.
Following these simple guidelines is a surefire way to avoid getting scuffs or scratches on your records.
Another important thing is the room temperature in which you keep your records. Very high temperatures, of course, will actually warp your records.
The good rule of note is if it's too hot for you, it is too hot for your copy of Led Zeppelin Runes.
We don't want that.
No, ma'am. So you know how to care for your record. But let's say the previous owner didn't. How can you clean up your older records?
Well, there are methods available online. Now, the bad thing about internet sources is that they can be wrong.
Instead, he suggested that you go to your nearest record store and buy a bottle of record cleaner. If you don't live near a record store, you can order this stuff online through a variety of sources, including our very own On the Record merchandise store.
Record cleaner for $9.95.
Now, when you're physically wiping your records, whether you're using the cleaner or not, it's always best to use a lint-free cloth. Some cloths out there can actually scratch your record.
In all honesty, I usually just use one of my own socks.
Now, if you come across gunk or filth that's actually stuck on the record, or even worse, between the grooves, it's sometimes best to take a toothpick. Now, even that can be a little bit risky, but seeing as how it's a very thin piece of wood, you should have a less likely chance of damaging your record.
Still, very, very risky, and you should only use this in the most severe circumstances of crap buildup. But if you follow these guidelines, and you're sure you provide your records with a long playing life.
On that note, it is now time for Satan Speaks.
What wisdom do you have for us today, Lucifer?
Puppies are fun.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching this week's episode of On the Record. We're your hosts, Brad
and Will.
Tune in next time. Same record place,
same record time. Now, being used records, they will contain dirt and filth. So, we'll teach how to clean them today.
Good name.
What?
Shiny new records. Being used records.